Welcome into another summer edition of UCA Channel 6 Sports. Today we're going to be talking football. I'm joined by Dylan Brown and Des Thomas. Now, Dylan, with the 2016 season fast approaching, what are you looking for in the Bears?
I'm looking for how they're going to play on the offensive line. They lost 5 starters and their 2 lead running backs. So I look to see how they can hold up and protect the quarterback and which running back's going to step up and perform this year.
Yeah, and to add on that, I can say that, with the Bears, defense has always been there. Really great defensive team, but the offense has always been kind of shaky. So with that loss to the offensive line and the running backs, that's going to be a bit of a problem on offense. I mean, they can contain teams, and really play well on the defensive end, but the offensive end is what's going to be a little bit up in the air and what's something they're going to have to, really focus on if they want to get, some more wins this season.
This team lost players like Jonathan Woodard, Dominic Thomas, Devin Spurlock. Who left the biggest void?
I can honestly say, the NFL prospect, Jonathan Woodard. Jonathan Woodard, great athlete, real big guy, 6'7", 270 pounds. He really, last season, he really showed that, he can make big plays, step in at all the right times, and really give a lot of help to the team. And with him being gone, I feel like the team is they're gonna miss some of what he had, And another guy is really just gonna have to step in, especially playing at defensive end and try to do the best they can as somewhat close to what he was doing.
What about you, Dylan?
I believe the backup running back, Dominic Thomas, I think his presence will be felt the most. Beasley had a great season, but Thomas stepped in and really performed pretty well for him. And to see him gone, you really don't have a clear number one anymore, so I think he'll be missed.
Now, looking at the Southland Conference as a whole, what opponent are you looking out for most to play UCA?
Number one, I'm looking out for Sam Houston State. Last year, they went undefeated in conference and did really well. And then, even though McNeese lost their head coach, I still say they're going to be competing with UCA for that number 2 spot.
Yes, and I agree with that. And with Sam Houston State, a big problem that UCA had with Sam Houston was that they were so fast. I mean, they were calling plays, so quick. And UCA wasn't able to get the calls off for defense for what, guys needed to shift and, switch and do what they needed to do. So with that being said, they really need to watch out for Sam Houston State, that offense that they have and adjust to it to what they can. And with McNeese State, they're still going to be, a competitive game. And even though UCA did play, a shaky game last season against McNeese State, I still feel like McNeese State is going to come back, and give them a challenging game. Even if the coach is gone, the players themselves have played against UCA, and they know what they can and can't do.
Dylan kind of alluded to it. McNeese was 9-0. They lost their head coach in the offseason. Do you see a drop-off with McNeese, and does that open the door for UCA to be a top 2 team, maybe even a top team in the conference?
It is possible if they can get past Sam Houston, but with McNeese, being that the coach is gone, he may make some changes. I mean, you don't know. He may make some changes that really do, affect McNeese, and then when they get against UCA may be able to adjust to that. I mean, but we'll never know until we actually see the game, So with that said, if McNeese does make some bad choices or the coach makes some bad choices, then that could be an issue. But maybe he'll make the right choices and make it even harder for UCA. It's really just going to be a thing we're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I agree. I say that with losing your head coach, that's a huge void to try and fill, no matter who's coming in. But I think UCA is on the up and coming, and if they really want to leapfrog them to lock up in that number 1 or 2 seed for this division, this is the year to do it.
Coach Campbell signed 28 players in his 2016 signing class. Is there anybody on that roster of 28 people that can come in and make an immediate impact for you?
I've got my eye on Jalen Lofton. He's a new D-back coming in. I think he was brought in to help replace for Devin Spurlock because he led the team last year in tackles. I think they're going to get somebody that can get out there and make some tackles and force some turnovers.
Yes, also on Jalen Lofton, I can say, he's one of the 2 free safeties. And hearing from Coach Campbell himself, he poses really good football knowledge. I mean, he's been stepping up, showing that he's confident. I mean, he's fast, he's got speed, he's got good technique, and he's really proven himself early. So, I mean, if you can prove yourself early to the coach, then that really, could build up your confidence and just help you overall as a player. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him play this season. I think he's going to make some noise.
Now, both of you have been out to spring camp reporting. What have they been working on the most?
Mainly, I've been seeing that Coach Campbell is trying to get guys on offense, trying to get guys figured out, even both ends, offense and defense, trying to find the right spots. Because if you get guys in the right spots and they are, are confident in what they're doing, that's going to help the team. That's what's really going to make a difference. And just, that can be a problem if guys, are somewhere where they feel uncomfortable, or guys are playing a position they don't particularly like or haven't been used to doing. So mainly, with the spring, the Bears were using it as just a test run to see what are guys going to do, what are guys going to act, in this position here and there, and how can they, help the team.
Yep.
I think their main focus is going to be finishing strong. They got to start fast and finish strong, because last year when you look in the few losses they had, they were blowout losses. I mean, you just got to keep your composure and play through from start to finish. You can't just halfway through the game. And so I believe if they can work on that, they'll stay in a lot more games and be able to really compete for that number one spot.
And last season, their defense was ranked highest in the Southland Conference, but their offense was middle of the pack. Do you expect a more high-powered offense in 2016?
I expect them to be, I would say, at least in the top three due to a entire offseason with Hayden Hildebrand. He's there. He's had the entire time to work with the new O-line, lots of the running backs and the receivers. Smith will be back to help lock out. They got a couple new tight ends to help out, and hopefully they can get more involved in the passing game. And I really expect a big boost from the offense this year. In defense, I expect it just to stay the same.
Good.
Yes, and with defense, I mean, that's always been, last few years, UCA's thing, great defense, really, really, really been able to hold teams down. But on the scoring end, that's where we've been shaky at, and that's something we really need to, try to, work on if we want to beat, say Sam Houston or McNeese. We got to be able to just outscore guys. So with that being said, since we lost some guys on O-line, lost some running backs, and those spots, all those really need to be filled, with the right guys that are going to produce, because the guys are producing on every end what we've lost, and that's what's really going to help UCA. And just getting guys in the right spots is what's really going to help.
Now we're heading into Coach Campbell's third season at the helm of the football program. What direction do you think the program's heading?
I think, this is the Bears right now, they have a really good foundation, and they've held a decent foundation. And so I think the program can just, go do nothing but go up. Especially, with the 28 new players. I mean, that's guaranteed talent. It's going to be in there with that many guys. And I really think that the Bears just have a lot, just to continue to grow and just come together as a team. I feel like they can really, make some noise.
Yeah.
I believe they're going to get a lot better. If you look at Campbell's overall record here, he's 13-10 in 2 years. First year is 6-6. Next year is 7-4. He's improved each year, and each time they've climbed the ranks in the division. So I think with the third year in the belt, with his guys here, who he wants here, his coaching staff, I think they'll really be able to compete this year.
Are there any changes you would like to see prior to the 2016
I would like to
season?
see them win some non-conference games. This year they went 0-2 in it, and even though it's not in your conference, they are still a big part of the games. They can really help determine your record. So.
Yes, and I agree with that, just seeing guys win non-conference games. I mean, because the more wins you get, the more confident you are, so, and just to be able to have that confidence, going into the tournament, or whatever else they're doing, I mean, I really think that can make a big difference.
Now with Woodard and Beasley both gone, who are the players? Let's do two things. Who's going to stick out to you on defense, and who's going to stick out to you on offense this year?
I can honestly say, starting off on defense, I can say George Odom, outside linebacker. He's really, proved himself, worked his way up in the rankings, and he's, just showing that he can give a good performance on the strength side of football and speed side. And with that said, I feel like, just from what he's been doing and the numbers he's been putting up, he's going to do nothing but get better. And now with him starting this season, that's really going to be, something that's going to help the team. And also with Antoine Wells, I mean, he's a really, really strong guy, and he's fast too. I mean, in spring practice, he was running guys over, And if you have that on your offense, then that's really, a benefit to the team, especially, with the running backs loss. Having him there, having a strong and a fast guy that can just bulldoze people, it's nothing but help right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for my offensive guy, Hayden Hildebrand. Nice. This is his first year to truly be the number one guy. He's had the entire offseason as the number one guy. He's worked with everybody on the offense. I think he's poised for a breakout year. And on defense, I'm going to go with Ricky Dobbins, nose guard. He was a freshman last year, had 2 sacks, which isn't bad for coming into a college system. But I think he's poised for a great year. He's going to be the next guy.
Where do you think the Bears are going to finish in the Southland Conference this year?
I think they're going to go number 2.
Finish
number 2, lock in.
That's fair.
I agree with him. I feel like, that number 2 spot is, it's what they're really, headed for. and just Sam Houston State is going to be up there, you know, giving them the most problems. That's going to be the team to beat, and that's really who they're going to have to look out for.
Now, are the FCS playoffs a possibility for the Bears this year?
Yes, I do believe that is
Good.
an easy possibility. You know, they got new guys coming in. Defense is looking good. They've done nothing but improve. So I feel like it's an easy possibility.
You?
I'm going to one-up that, Des. I'm going to say not only do they go into the playoffs, but they get a playoff win.
No, very nice. Very
I don't
nice.
think they're poised yet to make a deep run in the playoffs. They've still got a young team, seems like, building around. But I think they can get in, get a playoff win, and be ready for the next year.
Now, this is always the fun part of the show, right? Leading into summer. Bold prediction from both of you. We'll start with you. Bold prediction for the football program.
Bold
this year.
prediction, I'm going to go for the offense. I'm going to say they're going to be ranked in the top 3 for total offense.
Very nice.
I agree with you. I do agree with that. You know, just spot on. I feel like the offense, you know, could be in top 3, and I feel like, you know, the FCS, you know, the playoffs. I feel like they can get in there, but make it all the way to the end. Can't say that.
Yeah. Yeah, you never know, though. You never know, though. It's
It's
always
possible.
a wacky season, especially in the football season. If everybody can stay healthy, you know, anything's possible.
I mean, they could be the Cinderella dream story right here.
Oh, we hope so. We hope
Yeah.
so. Well, thank you, Des. Thank you, Dylan, for your input. That was a recap and a look ahead to UCA football for this coming year. I'm Taryn Meyer. See you guys next time.